Hey trappers, welcome back to another episode here with No Name Trapper. Today's episode is going to be about selecting an earth anchor system for your trap line. Um, Now, the last episode we did was about rebar, but if you're going to long line and do a lot of trapping, I recommend investing in a earth anchor system. Now, the first thing, in my opinion, is do your research and select which one you like. There's pros and cons to each system, I feel like, just like there is with traps. Now, um, like I run two different systems myself because I like to have options always. You guys know that if you watch my channel much. So I like the T-handle um, because here in Iowa, the ground is usually softer. The last few years we've been in a bad drought. Now, if you have super hard ground all the time, I would not recommend getting a T-handle because um, I'll tell you why. It's got a, all of them have, they're hollow, right? And so when you're pounding it in the ground, it vibrates and it actually breaks the welds on your T-handle. So for the Freedom brand, I like the 30-inch T-handle. And for the Pogo, I just get the heavy duty one. I think it's actually about probably 34 inches or something like that. Okay. These just purchased, haven't been ran yet. So like I said, get you two drivers. Um, get you, you know, I'd say at least a couple hundred. So if you buy them in bulk, you can buy bags of 100, I believe. And we're going to go through the pros and cons to each of the two systems I run and which one I like a little bit better. I do like them both. Okay, so the first one, and you got to imagine, this is the Pogo system. And what it is it's a J hook. And I use the bigger washers. You can get the 1.5 or the 2-inch. I like the 2-inch. I've had some pullouts with 1.5-inch. Due to the variety of our soil here in Iowa. So anyways, 2-inch with a J hook, and then essentially guys, when you make them yourself, you put the cable through, you crimp it here, and then you make it the length you want, and you use another aluminum double ferrule up top and you crimp it there. Okay, so I make mine, and I don't have one made right now because it's off season. I've got some somewhere, but I couldn't find them. But I like to make mine 18-inch for both systems I run. I would suggest if you're new and you're just starting out, I would suggest running a little longer, maybe 24-inch, right? If you run a little longer your first few years, and then you can find out, hey, I can cut down it a little bit in length, and maybe you'll get to where you like 18-inch like I run, but you got to really learn your soil, you know, your soil at your location. So anyways, Pogo, right? And here's our driver. Okay. Now the Pogo system, the way it works is it goes on like this. Your actual J hook goes, there's two notches. One's a little bigger, one's a little smaller. Okay, so your bigger notch, your J hook fits right here in this slot, and your J hook goes on the bigger side. And then that end, the other side of the J hook fits over there. And it kind of fits in there in a groove, and then you push it into the ground, as you know, with this end, and then pull the driver out, and you pull on your cable then, which will be sticking up above the ground where your trap's attached to. You pull up on it, and it sets just like this down on the ground, and that's what anchors your trap. Okay, so that's the Pogo system. Now, I love the Pogo system. It's what I started out with. The only flaw, in my opinion, is if you get clay or hard ground. Okay, see this slot here? Oops, sorry guys. Right there, that slot. Okay, so what'll happen is that clay or that hard mud will get packed in there. Now, a lot of guys say they just force it anyways. Force it and just keep running. Well, when you force this washer in here, what essentially you're doing when it's packed like that is you're putting pressure. Once you drive it into the ground, you're putting pressure on where the crack meets the actual steel. So you're putting pressure on this right here. And so I don't like doing that, because eventually you can blow out your driver. So what I do is I carry a pocket knife, and every time I get clay or mud stuck in there, I'll just clear it out with the pocket knife. That is the only downside to this system I found. I love the Pogo system. Now, the only reason I bought a second system is because two reasons. COVID's, it was around COVID time, and there were shortages. There wasn't, as far as like the Pogo system, I was able to still get that, but I thought, I want to have another system in case. And my dad was running the Wolf thing, earth anchor system. Okay, so here's the driver for it. Okay, T-handle. All right, and here's what it looks like down here. It's just a notch slot kind of deal. Not kind of like the other one, but not. It's not drilled out all the way through there. It's just notched right there a little bit. Now, the way this system works is you put this your Wolf thing, you put it on there, and it goes on just like that, and then you push it down on the ground, pull your driver back out, and once you pull up on your cable, it sets in the ground just like this. Okay, so once it sets, you're good to go. Now, I love this system. I don't have the problem with the driver, getting packed with mud or anything. This system tends to, where sometimes the Pogo system, this washer won't cut through a tree root or something. This Wolf thing's a little narrower, and so it'll tend to go through, and it's pointed, so it'll tend to cut through like tree roots sometimes and stuff like that. So you can get away with a little more. So essentially, I have two systems that I've tried, the Wolf thing and the Pogo. And I like them both, but I like the Wolf thing just a hint more. Just a hint more. So that's kind of what I wanted to go over. It's an investment. It's an investment when you buy a driver and the anchors, right? So you need to do your own research and really think about it. But I do suggest getting two drivers and at least 1 or 200 to start out anchors based on how many traps you run. And realize these are disposable anchors. When you can pull them out of the ground, which sometimes you can just by hand even, that's fantastic. You can reuse them. But sometimes you can't get them out. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you should buy a stake puller, and I'm going to do a whole nother video about stake pullers. And if you can't get it out and you're fighting, I like to run a quick link so I can take it off. But guys, don't fight it too much. You'll throw out your back or hurt yourself really badly. So anyways, that's going to be another video. There's my two systems. And again, here's my two drivers. And I hope this helps somebody out. Start out. If you have any questions, get a hold of me. Any feedback in the comments is welcome. So tight chains, and I'll see you on the next episode.